am obviously recording this a few days early, but as of this video posting, it's Avatar: Last Airbender Day. What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel and to another video, and today, to celebrate the release of Avatar: Aang: The Last Airbender, the movie hitting streaming platforms, although it should have hit theaters first, all of them, not just a few, we are going to do a good old-fashioned Avatar: Last Airbender character tier list. I've mentioned this a couple times, but there are two important things to note about Avatar: Last Airbender and me. Number one is it was my gateway to anime. I watched it before I started watching anime, and when I watched Avatar: Last Airbender, fell in love with it, I realized that I did want to get into anime, and the rest is history. Number two is it's actually what I started making content about. When I started as a little baby content creator, I was 99% making content about Avatar: Last Airbender. If you go to my videos on here and go to oldest, you'll see most of them are Avatar: The Last Airbender related. The same goes for TikTok, although you'll see some Harry Potter stuff first. For obvious reasons, I quit doing that very quickly. But Avatar: Last Airbender holds such a special place in my heart, and while I don't really make content about it anymore, it's partially because of some interesting situations within the fandom, and yeah, I still feel that way. However, I do really love this show. It's very high on my list of just overall favorite shows of all time, so I figured what better way to kind of get back into maybe making some of this content than to make a character tier list. Since I'm recording this before the movie comes out, obviously I can't base anything off of the movie because no, I have not seen the leaks, I have not watched it, that is illegal. I want to support it when it comes out. So videos about the movie might come at a later time, but we're gonna dive right into today's video. But before we do, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts. If you want to see more Avatar: Last Airbender content, I would love to make more, just let me know in the comments below. Also, if you want access to fun and exclusive perks like early release of videos, fun emojis, and getting the opportunity to help decide what videos I make every week, you can join my channel membership. For a small fee, you get all of those perks and more, plus you get to help support my dream of becoming a full-time content creator. So if you are so interested in helping support the channel financially with some fun perks, I give them to you, don't worry. Hit the join button below. But enough of my yapping, let's get into it. Alright y'all, and I'm currently rewatching the show. I'm in season 1, so I am a little bit rusty on some of these characters, so bear with me. Avatar: Last Airbender is a very good cast, so I'm gonna try and get through this as quickly as possible, but the main cast, I have a lot of thoughts on all of them, so we're gonna see how long this takes. It might take a minute. But starting off is the Cabbage Man. So obviously the Cabbage Man is a fan favorite because of the only words he says is "my cabbages," and then he says in season 1 like, "off with their heads, one for each cabbage." He's a really funny character. As far as I know, and I'm recalling this from memory of when I was super active in the fandom, which was years ago at this point, it was like pre-Demon Slayer for me, but I'm pretty sure he was originally going to be like a one-time thing, and then was so well loved by the viewers at the time that they just kept on inserting him into other areas. So super funny, love that people cosplay him, and love that every time people cosplay him, like, everybody gets it that's seen the show, obviously. I like him. He's more of like a silly gag character than anything else, so I'm gonna put him in B because, like, everyone knows who the Cabbage Man is. I feel like I can't put him lower than that, but he's also like the Cabbage Man. There's not in a show full of just incredible characters, he's kind of like just the Cabbage Man. That's it. Sparky Boom Man. Also not really prevalent. Does he ever talk? I don't think he ever says a word. I think he just goes pow 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 pow. Crazy guy, but he's just there. Like, he just gets hired by Zuko, and then like he just is like, "I don't care that you're telling me to stop, I'm gonna keep fulfilling the job you gave me." I don't know. He has a cool power. I think that the person with that ability, the combustion bending in Korra, was much more interesting because she got like actual development. I don't remember this guy's name, but I hate him because I dislike how he stole Appa, right? Like he absolutely did, and sold Appa to the black market, and only felt remorse for what he did when he realized it was the Avatar's air bison. Which tells me that you are a horrible person because you're selling animals to the black market where they're probably going to be killed and sold like for the fur and that sort of thing. So the fact that you felt remorse, like, okay, but you only felt remorse because it was the Avatar's animal, you wouldn't feel remorse for anyone else? Like, come on, no. So I'm putting you in D because you're the first character that have popped up that I'm like, I don't like you. Gyatso, okay. Gyatso, love him. He doesn't have like a ton of screen time because obviously he's a character that lives in the flashback realm. He's not alive for the present timeline. If you've been following my channel for a while, I tend to kind of not care that much about those characters because I want to see characters that are affecting the timeline, that are moving the story forward and that sort of thing. So I don't tend to care a whole lot, but I do really love Gyatso. I feel like every moment that we see with him is very poignant. Like, it's very important to Aang and to the story. He did what he could to protect Aang, and he was like one of the only ones that was very much against telling Aang that he was the Avatar. Pretty sure like it's canon that he was going to like take Aang away, but Aang ran away before he could tell him like I'm gonna like get you to another air temple. We're gonna do something so that like you're not being forced into being the Avatar this soon, no matter what like is going to happen. Like, you're too young to have to handle this, and I really appreciate that about him. He seemed to be like a very good mentor that taught Aang about the ways of the air nomads and about airbending, but also made sure he held on to that childlike personality no matter how old he, got and that sort of thing. So I do really like Gyatso. I'm gonna have to put him in A because I don't think he is up there with like some of the really good characters in the story, which there are many, which we'll get to, but he belongs in A. Hakoda, I don't think it's a hot take. I'm very split on him because I see a lot of people on the internet that dislike him because of him, leaving Sokka and Katara behind to fight in the war. But I do think that the situation that they were in, there was not really anything that he could do. And I do agree with his decision to leave Sokka behind because Sokka was still very young. And as we know at the beginning of the show, Sokka didn't have a whole lot of fighting abilities yet. He learned a lot while they were traveling the world. He was very much, Hakoda was correct to leave Sokka behind to like take care of the village, but like he gave him something to do while also protecting him. So I lean more heavily on the side of I think Hakoda did what he could to protect his children in a war-torn world like they live in. So I lean heavily more towards not really disliking him. I guess maybe that is a hot take, because now that I think about it, I feel like I've seen a lot more people complain about Hakoda and call him like a bad father, which is interesting because I think he's a good person that did what he could to protect his kids. That being said, see, now I feel like Cabbage Man does belong in C because I don't know if I can put Hakoda in A. Actually, yeah, he does. I like him. I definitely like him as much as Gyatso. Okay, that feels good. Oh, Hama. Okay, what she did was wrong. I agree with Katara, but she is acting upon the pain and the anguish of what the Fire Nation has done to her. I would say she's a very morally gray character because when you are hurt so much by these aggressors and your country is colonized and your people are taken away and you're taken away and you're put in this like horrible situation because you're a waterbender, like you have every right to hate the Fire Nation, the aggressors, right? She does it to more than just the aggressors, though, and that's where I start to say, hey, aim your anger at the proper people. But she is definitely a product of the war that they live in, and it's a very nuanced subject. When you think about the fact that the target audience for this show was like ages 9 to 12, I think, was the official target audience, and you have a character like Hama that is so nuanced and so like back and forth, where you understand her motives, but you can also call out that some of what she does is wrong, while also being like, but is it fully wrong, after what the Fire Nation has done to her? She obviously, like, tried to kill Sokka and Aang. I will say, I briefly forgot that she did that, so... But character herself, I usually do these tier lists more based off of how much I like the character. So, I'm gonna put her in B. I think as far as, like, writing and nuance goes, she definitely belongs probably in S tier if I was doing this 100% based off of writing. But I'm gonna put her in B because she's not, like, in the story very much. And what she does is she traumatizes Katara, who obviously is against the Fire Nation at this point as well. She tries to kill Sokka and Aang. Well, really only tries to kill Aang because Sokka had his sword out and Aang would have died. He would have gone impaled by the sword. So she's like further trying to traumatize Katara, even though Katara is a victim just like her, who just is choosing to be kind to people that don't necessarily deserve the anger. Anyway, I could go on and on about these characters. Haru, like this sweet boy who, like, did nothing wrong. He just tried his best. He's sweet. I do like that they brought him back. One of the things that I really loved about Avatar was how we got introduced to all these characters throughout, like, season 1 and 2, and then pretty much all of them got brought back in season 3. Like, they all looped back, so it was, like, very satisfying to see, like, the payoffs of all these characters that we met throughout the story. Haru can go in B as well, though. Like, my feelings on him are just a bit more, like, mid, I guess. Not as in, like, he's a mid character. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that are like, I love Haru, right? But I'm like, okay, like, he exists. He has a pretty good character arc, but he's not one of the more, like, nuanced-ish characters. Okay. Next is Iroh. We all know where Iroh goes. Iroh is one of the best characters in the story. He's not my favorite, but I understand why so many people love him. He's just, like, very inspirational. The only thing I would say about Iroh that just, like, I see popular opinions on is people tend to forget he is a war criminal, and he did do horrible things. Obviously, he learned from that and has been spending, the last few years kind of trying to atone for it. But does he ever actually say, like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that? I think he gets it, and I think that broke him, right? Especially because of his son dying, while he was in Ba Sing Se. But you also have to argue the only reason he stopped the siege to Ba Sing Se is because his son died. He didn't, like, see the problem in sieging a city to try and colonize it and that sort of thing until his son died. He had to be, like, hit with something absolutely awful for that to happen. But that being said, Iroh is still, like, full of wisdom, and he's just so lovable. He's so funny. He's got some of the best lines, if not all of the best lines in the show, and he's legendary. Like, it's Iroh. You Leaves from the Vine, might I add. Might I stop there with talking about him, right? So he obviously belongs in S. As far as, like, my favorites list goes, I think the entirety of the gang Team Avatar is above him, so if that gives you a spoiler of what we're gonna see here with this tier list, considering he's in S and I'm sitting here saying I think he's probably, like, 7th on my list. It is Avatar Last Airbender we are talking about, though, and these characters are all developed so well. Like, I'm seeing still so many good characters that we have yet to get to, and I've already been recording for almost 20 minutes. This is not good. Okay, Zhang Zhang. I don't have a huge opinion on him. I don't know why, but he's just kind of, like, he's cool. He also goes through development, but he's probably one of those characters where I'm like, I'll put him in B. Because I definitely like him better than Sparky Sparky Boom Man. So I guess that's where he belongs. Jet. My feelings on him are really unclear. That was a bad joke. Okay. Again, like, a very nuanced character, a victim who's doing the wrong thing out of anger because of the pain that he has experienced and the loss that he has experienced because he lives in a war-torn world. God, this show did so good at just, like, representing so many different types of trauma responses and so many different types of, like, handling the world when you live in such a war-torn world like that, with, like, one country that's a huge aggressor and everyone else is victim of it. Like, this show was ahead of its time, truly. Jet on, like, I'm gonna put him in A because I do like him better than Hama because he's in the story a little bit more. He develops more. He develops other characters more, and I think that he, for still the small amount of screen time he got, he still was very, very prevalent and still did a lot. And we saw him kind of grow from the way he felt originally. You know, he felt like every single person in the Fire Nation was bad, and I think he learned that, like, no, you need to, again, like, your anger needs to be at the aggressors, which is not every single person in the Fire Nation, right? There are a lot of innocent bystanders who just, they can't control where they were born, right? Is that, oh my gosh, what is her name? Jin? Okay, her name is Jin. She's really sweet. I like the fan theory, or like just the people that are like, man, I wish Zuko and her had gotten another chance. But I also would say, like, Zuko's arc is just so completely different than where, like, it was at, you know, where he ended up being the Fire Lord. It doesn't make a lot of sense for him to end up with Jin, who is also the victim of his country colonizing. You know, like, there's levels to this. As far as her character, she's cute. I'm gonna put her in C because she's just like kind of there. Character development, not really. She's just there. Jodie, crazy chick. Kind of dislike her actually. I'm gonna put her in D because she doesn't really even have like development. She's just kind of like this poor brainwashed girl. Poor girl, but also doesn't ever have any moment that like makes me care about her. Ooh. I can't remember this chick's name, but she was cool. God, what was her name? I told y'all it's been a minute since I haven't gone to the part in season 1 where she's introduced either, so I remember she is introduced in season 1. I think I got the Earth Kingdom girl's name wrong too. Was it Julie? I don't remember. I kind of want to cosplay her just because I like her character design, but that's kind of it. I'll put her in B because she's cool. Like, I genuinely am like, wow, you're cool. So I feel like B makes a bit more sense than C because she also comes back and like we see a little bit more with her. Okay, Katara. Katara is my second favorite character. Love her. I despise how the fandom handles her specifically. Most of my disdain for the fandom has to do with how people talk about her in a shipping light and just non-shipping in general. If I have to see another person say that she brings up her mother too much, I'm going to explode. This is a traumatized child who literally saw her mother's charred body. So she did have a very different experience from Sokka. Her little lash out on Sokka where she said you didn't love her the way I did. Katara was acting a fool that entire episode. That was kind of the point of that episode where she goes on her revenge quest with Zuko. That was not to develop their ship. That was to develop Katara and see how a character who chooses kindness as often as Katara does can have her moments where she makes the wrong decision and she does something and then she learns before she actually does the act. That one episode, she says some things that she obviously doesn't mean, right? But Katara doesn't even bring up her mom that much. I think someone counted it. It was like 4 or 5 times. It wasn't even like an incredible amount. And every single time that she brings up her mom, it is meaningful. She's connecting with Haru. She's talking about hope with people, like that sort of thing. The Fire Nation taking away her mom is a very big thing for her. If my mother was killed in a war by a aggressive nation, I would probably bring it up a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Like, and I'm not a child. Like, she's 14 for this story. So I love Katara. I think she is one of the most probably was one of my first experiences with like a genuinely super well written female character. And no, her ending up with Aang did not change that for me. She belongs in S. I love and adore her. I've made videos about her like back when I made Avatar Last Airbender content. In fact, again, if you go to my like oldest videos on this channel, one of the first ones is a compilation of In Defense of Katara TikTok videos that I made. So if you're interested, it's been a minute since I've watched that, but I still pretty much stand by what I said. I don't think I've changed my mind on anything, but she deserves to lash out occasionally. She knows that what she did was wrong and she changes that, and then she grows and she tries her best. She doesn't always make the right decisions. She sometimes lashes out, but I think like she's truly kind. And she can be a little bossy because she has grown up kind of having to take care of Sokka. Because Sokka was supposed to take care of her, but he kind of went off on his little misogynistic I want to be a warrior thing, which we'll talk about in a little while, but goodness gracious, I love Katara dearly. Like, this is a Katara stan account. Boomy! I love Boomy. He's funny, but he also belongs in B. Earth King, I don't care about. He's, like, kind of useless. I do like that once he figured out that the Dai Li were doing this stuff and that he needed to actually step up and that he was being lied to. I like that he kind of tried to take action, but at the end of the day, he ran away. Like, by the time Aang had woken up after he literally took a lightning bolt to the back and died and came back to life to protect everybody, the Earth King was like, peace. Crazy. Kyoshi. I have not read the novels that are about her. I really want to. When I, like, stopped making content, I kind of had to just, like, cold turkey Avatar Last Airbender content in general. I stopped reading this stuff. I stopped watching the show. So I haven't read the books about her, but I've heard things about it and it sounds really good, so I definitely need to read it. I really, really like her. Again, like, my feelings on her are kind of not as strong because she, again, lives in the world of flashbacks, obviously, because in order for Aang to be alive, she has to be dead, and she was dead before the Avatar before Aang, like, that sort of thing, but when she is there, she's so cool. I genuinely think she's amazing, and I really want to know more about her character, but acting on what I know of her, I'll put her in B. Aang. Okay, Aang is my favorite character. And this happens a lot because Tanjiro is my favorite character in Demon Slayer. I tend to really love the main characters of shows. I find them very underrated in their own shows. Again, that is usually because they don't get that, like, spotlight story attention because they drive the plot forward the most since they are the main character. The story is about them. Aang is the Avatar, The Last Airbender. He is the show. He is the main character. I've already seen people complain that apparently the movie focuses too much on him. It's literally called Avatar Aang, The Last Airbender. He is the main character. Therefore, he gets the most screen time. He gets the most time. But also, a lot of times the main characters don't get, like, the development arc that a lot of the other characters do because the story is about them. So their arc is really from start to finish, and you get latched onto these other characters, so people tend to like a lot of the other characters better. I love a pure soul. These characters where they have every right to be a Hama. They have every right to be a Jet. They have every right to want to watch the world burn, but they choose kindness. That is Aang to a T. And Aang is under a lot more pressure than, like, a Tanjiro is because Aang is also the chosen one. He is the one with the ability to take down the Fire Lord. No one else has that ability. He has to do it alone. Even though they planned on having all of the friends there with him, they got split up. He needed those friends to get him there, but at the end of the day, he had to take on the Fire Lord alone. And I just think his story is really personal to me. I do, like, occasionally have issues with the way his character is written, but for the most part, I really like him, even when he gets preachy with Katara. Katara was lashing out again in the Southern Raiders episode. Aang got very preachy with her, but he was right. He was absolutely right. I do want to explore his trauma more. I feel like it does kind of get brushed over. I'm gonna compare Tanjiro a lot to this because I feel like these characters are very similar in the realm of people misunderstand them. They are kind, they are silly, they are funny, and that is coping with their trauma. It's not that they're not experiencing it, it's that they are pushing it down to be the person they feel like they need to be. Aang is under, again, like, this pressure of being the Avatar that he doesn't want to be the Avatar. He wants to be a kid. He just wants to have fun and do silly things, which is a very normal thing for a 12-year-old to feel. He's 12 years old. He doesn't have his emotions regulated perfectly, which means he does push it down a lot, like the pain, but that also means that sometimes he lashes out, when he loses Appa. God, that whole arc where Appa's missing, people make fun of Aang so much for lashing out at Toph, for being mean to Katara, but they forgive other characters for those same exact actions when they are maybe even less justified. So, again, so much nuance. People act like Aang doesn't have nuance. He does. I could go on. Maybe I'll make a video about him. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to rant and rave about Aang and why I love him so much. If you've been following my channel for a while, you probably can kind of put two and two together. It's just like my preference, what I like kind of lean towards when it comes to loving a character is a main character that is just kind and gentle no matter what, and still will lash out occasionally, maybe at people that don't deserve it, but try so hard to remain that good person and affects the people around him. So Aang is my favorite character. I love that precious boy. He goes in S. Now to one of my least favorite characters. I actually hate him so much that I can't remember his name. The leader of... Okay. Long Feng is his name. I hate him so much that took more time than expected, but Long Feng belongs in hate. I actually can't stand him. Actually hate him. Hate that guy. This is Bato, I think. I think that was his name. I don't know if, he's good, he's cool, he's fine, he's Hakoda's friend. Katara and Sokka's, they know him, he's fine. I don't remember the name of each one of Jet's crew, so apologies. I'm gonna put his crew guys in C because most of them didn't leave that big of an impression on me, and it's not that I, kind of dislike them or hate them, it's more of just everyone in C is, that's kind of my catch-all for I don't have many feelings. B kind of leans a little bit more towards at least your writing is interesting or I like you a little bit. So all of the what is their name? I can't even remember Jet's team name. So again, I haven't gotten to that point. I'm almost there. May I love. I didn't like her at first, but I genuinely ended up really liking her. I found her development to be interesting. I also really liked her in the comics. I'm gonna put her in A because I genuinely like her. Zuko. So Zuko also belongs in S, obviously. Zuko still to this day has the best redemption arc I've ever seen. I have never seen a redemption arc be so perfectly done as his, because I've seen some that kind of crash and burn, you feel like you're getting there and then they don't even really get redeemed. I've seen some that are just so quick that it's kind of oh, okay, whatever. Zuko's, we had to breathe with it and we thought it was gonna happen and then it didn't and he had to go back, and I really like that it was not linear, that we had to learn and grow, but then he ended up being such a huge asset to the team and was able to protect Katara and that sort of thing. I get annoyed by his fans because I see so many people that are Zuko's the true main character. No, he just had a really good redemption arc and he's very well written and he's a good character. I don't care if he's your favorite. I don't care if Iroh's your favorite, Katara's your favorite. I don't care if freaking May is your favorite. Have your favorite character. What I care about is when people start, saying stupid stuff he deserves to be the main character, not Aang, when the story is literally about Aang, which many times the main character doesn't have that, huge development. Their arc is a bit more of a, flat arc where they have to learn and grow with the world, but they don't necessarily need to change. That character belongs just as much as the character that gets that redemption arc that is a completely different character from point A to point B, right? So I really, really, really like Zuko, but I'm not gonna lie, I have found myself a little bit more resentful towards him because of how the fandom handles him. And I also do know that people have talked about how angry they are that he's not the main character of the movie when the movie is called Avatar Aang the Last Airbender. Come on. Also, I feel like I've stated this before. If this is your first time consuming my Avatar Last Airbender content, I am a Katang shipper through and through. I do not like Zutara. I had a brief moment when I watched the show for the first time where I was they kind of look like they could fit as a couple, and then I was wait, no, there's so many wrong things about them being together. No. There is nothing to me that tells me they belong together. ship it if you want. I have friends who love that ship. It's like that's their thing. That's fine if you ship it, but the amount of mischaracterization and hate towards Aang on that side of the fandom. So, fun fact, that's the main reason why I left the fandom, is because Katang meant so much to me. I got to the point where I couldn't just post a video about Katang that had nothing to do with comparing it to Zutara, nothing to do about trying to debate the ship wars. I would just talk about something that I like about it, and I would have so many people in my comments being like, ew, you're gross, that's like a 12-year-old, Zutara is better because they're teenagers. And granted, they have the same age gap. The only reason people don't like Katang is because they don't like that Aang is bald. I'm saying it. Like, no, Katara does not treat her like a brother. Her brother is right there and she treats him completely differently. Okay, this is bringing up some like old old feelings that I didn't know. We're gonna come back by making this video. Wow, I'm like preemptively preparing myself to... Anyway, I love Zuko. I do. He belongs in S. He has the best redemption arc. He's top 5 favorite characters, but the fandom of Zuko needs to calm the frick down. Maybe I need to calm down. Who knows? Okay, this guy. Okay, I have maybe the hottest take on this guy. I hate how his whole thing was handled. The people that destroyed that air temple were let off way too easily. This is one of the times where I was like, Aang, you should have been way less forgiving, because they destroyed the temple of an extinct people. Because, of course, people, like, it took a while for the fact that Aang was around to, like, get through to everyone. And they're just, like, there's ways to habitate, a ruins or a place where people lived that are now extinct and stay respectful of that. Like, the way they, like, that whole thing makes me so upset. Because Aang had every right to be mad at them, and honestly, they got off way too easily. There should have been way more consequences for their actions, and I think it's great that they, like, were allowed to live there. I think that's fine, but the way they destroyed some of the temples and things that, like, obviously were very important to the air nomads, no, you can't. So I think he deserved worse. I think he goes in D. Appa, my love. I will put Appa in A, because how can there be an animal that actually has character development, but Appa definitely does. The part of season 2 where Appa is missing, I sometimes have to skip that. I won't, because I haven't watched the show in a while, so this watch through that I'm doing right now is, like, pretty fresh, but goodness me, I love Appa, but I also, like, it's Appa. Same with Momo. Like, both of them, there's not much to say about them other than I love them, so we're gonna do that. Ozai, I hate you. You are just like a maniac, genocidal, crazy abuser. You deserve hell, and you deserve the deepest depths of hell. You are just an awful person on all fronts, and I hate you. Paku, also hate this guy. I don't like him. Now, I will say, I think there is something to be said about the time that they live in and the country that they live in. Like, you can't really fully blame everything on him. Like, the same with Sokka's misogyny at the beginning. You have to, like, go outside and realize that, like, oh, I'm just living a very sheltered, like, this is how I was taught and this is all that I know. And there's never been anyone there to kind of push back on that. And he did give up on that pretty quickly after someone actually pushed back on it. But I still don't like him. I don't hate him, though. So I'm gonna put him in C, because there's, like, some redeeming qualities, I guess, about him. Like, he did honestly understand that what he believed was wrong. So, you know, it's like, I believe that people that they live in, like, this very, like, this echo chamber, and they don't get the opportunity to break free of that because of different reasons. I think that's kind of his situation. And once he was able to break free of that echo chamber and see, like, he did change. It's not as bad as... Who was it? Holy frick. Oh, it was the Sandbender guy. Yeah. Just, like, at least Paku got some more development after that, and I, like, was able to kind of be okay with it. Ooh, I don't remember this guy's name, but this is Sokka's master. Did he actually have a name, or is he just Sokka's master? I think he was cool. I think he was a good representation of the fact that not everyone in the Fire Nation was a horrible person. But I also think that he is fine. Like, he's there, he exists. We'll put him in B. Azula. Azula is such an interesting character. I also disagree with the idea that she needed a redemption arc. Just because Zuko got a redemption arc doesn't mean that Azula needed it, because Azula was way, way worse. Like, Azula was a mini Ozai, and yes, there is so much trauma there with how Ozai treated her, with how Ursa treated her, with how the family dynamic was. She is definitely a product of the thing that she lives in, but I also don't agree fully with the people that say she should have had a redemption arc. I think she needed to remain this very interesting villain with a lot of motives, but at the end of the day, she deserved what she got, essentially. I will put her in A because I don't really love her because of the way she is for the majority of the story, but I do find her writing to be some of the best writing in the story, which is saying a lot because so many of these characters are so well written. I've been recording for 45 minutes. This is taking so much longer than I thought it was going to take. Okay, this is another one of Jet's crew. They go and see Roku. The war is his fault. The war is absolutely his fault. I still think he's like an interesting character, but I don't really care about him, and I'm like, bro, it's all your fault. I'm gonna put Roku in B. We got another Jet's crew, Sokka. Okay, Sokka is third favorite, I want to say. I love his development. I love that he's kind of in the middle of Aang and Zuko, where like Zuko goes completely different from point A to point B. Aang kind of is more about just like learning to be the Avatar. He definitely grows, but it's a lot more subtle. Sokka's kind of in the middle. He doesn't have a full-on redemption arc because he never is like bad, but he also has to learn a lot. Again, kind of like Pakku, like the very misogynistic upbringing because of the culture and the world that he lived in. That's all he knew. For him, he didn't break free of that the moment he got pushed back on it, though, because Katara was pushing back on that for a very long time, it seems, right? But he did learn, he did grow, and that was development. I don't agree with the idea that the live action like just took that away, because that was a part of his development. That was a part of how he changed as a character. So he's also just funny, he's legendary, and I think he deserves all of the love that he gets. So I'm gonna put him in S, obviously. Sozin hates you. I don't think he deserves anything else other than like, yeah, sit next to your grandson. Is it grandson? Is Ozai his grandson? I think so. Suki, I love her. I feel like a lot of people absolutely adore her. I just couldn't bring myself to like adore her as much as the next person, but I still absolutely love her. I think she's really cool. I love that she kind of introduces the idea of non-benders being strong and also like combating Sokka's misogyny. But I'm gonna put her in A because I just don't know if I can put her up with everyone who's in S. Maybe I do, because I like her better than Iroh? Alright, she goes in S. Okay, this is the kid that was a part of the whole, I think it was the Northern Air Temple that they like kind of destroyed. He's a kid. I don't blame him as much as the inventor guy that was just destroying it. I should also throw out there that I do understand that they were under like duress with the Fire Nation as well, and they had to like do these things. There still is a way they could have gone about it and like not destroy like sacred things. I don't blame the kid as much. I don't remember his name. I don't, like, he was the kid. He just was doing what he knew. So, but I don't also care about him that much. The Boulders feeling conflicted about where to put him. And he can go and see as well. This is another Jet team. Toph. Okay, Toph I love and adore and think she's so cool. I also think she's slightly overrated. That's my hot take, I guess. I still love and adore her, though. She's definitely top 5. She goes in S. She's just, like, probably the best representation of a disability that I've ever seen in media. I don't think I've seen anything like it ever. Like, her blindness is actually a strength, and I love what they did with her. I fully understand why so many people love her. Like, I guess maybe not overrated. I guess just, like, I wish I could love her as much as the next person. I do love her. It's just not quite as much as, like, some of the people in the fandom. Ty Lee, love her. I love right next to May, like their stories and how they were able to combat Azula and her tyranny and like go against her. That was punishable by death because it's not just like going against a friend, it's going against the Fire Nation princess. So like what they did was really cool. Ursa, I think the only thing I dislike about her is the fact that she just kind of was like Azula's crazy and didn't like try to help her at all. She just kind of focused in on Zuko, who was inherently kinder. I think that part of the reason why Azula is as crazy as she is and is as like violent as she is because like she was never really loved by her mother. But Ursa like did like what she believed was right. I'm gonna put her in B, and that just feels right. Oh, the owl. What's the spirit name? I don't remember the spirit name. He's freaky, but he's cool. I'm running out of room. He'll go in C as well. That feels good. Who is this guy? I am drawing a blank. So you're going in C. Who are you? It looks like Water Tribe hair. I don't know who this guy is, so I can't put him in hate. Yue, I love her. I wasn't that sad about her turning into the moon because I felt like her relationship with Sokka was a little bit weird the whole time. Oh, is this guy her freaking fiance? Or is that her dad? Is that the... This might be her dad. Yue can go in B because I like her, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, I love Yue. Like, okay. This guy. I don't really like him. This is the guy that just like... I'm blanking. I think he's the guy who's like supposed to be the help of the king, but he didn't really know anything. I don't remember him, honestly. Okay, and the last one is Zhao. Hate him. Hate this guy. Like, what a horrible dude. Okay, so there's the list. I didn't know what this video was going to be like going into this because, again, I feel like I'm preemptively ready for people to be weird because I have seen some of the discourse on the internet since the movie got leaked. I tried to not look at it too much because I did not want to see the leak. I did not want to know about the movie. I've tried so hard to remain as like away from all of the leaks as possible just because I want to support the artists. You know, a lot of people are like, well, they already got paid. And it's like, that's not really what we're talking about. Like, yes, watching it on Paramount, the money is going to go to Paramount, but it's more of a give these artists the opportunity to have their work out officially. I know that leak wasn't the finished product either. So just, guys, let's like do our best to not commit crime, okay? Like, watching and spreading illegal leaks of movies is a crime. And it is very much just like the only people that are going to get hurt by that. Like, I'm not defending Paramount. I'm not defending the multi-million or billion-dollar company. The only people that are going to be affected by the leaks are the artists who are involved with it and the fans maybe not getting another movie or whatever. The only people affected by it are us. Regular people, not the multi-million-dollar company. So just remember that. I'm really excited to see this movie. I think I'm probably not going to see it until August 1st because we're doing a watch party with friends and I kind of want to wait to watch it until I'm with them. I don't want to like go and watch it first and then not have it be the first time because I want to enjoy it with my friends. Like, most of my friends grew up watching it. I didn't because I wasn't allowed to watch Nickelodeon as a kid. But I'm trying to decide exactly how it's going to go. But I think I'm going to wait until August 1st, which is a week from the day this video posts. So anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment your thoughts, and I will see you all in the next one. Mata ne!